Hey guys, I want to talk today about the $30 to $40 price range survival knives that are out there. You know, I think like a lot of attention gets paid to that $50 to $100 price range, and people really tend to ignore that 30 to 50. And there's a lot of gems in this price range that are very functional survival knives, and are just as good as those in that $50 to $100 range. And I wanted to share that and show you some examples and why it is they stack up, and that you can get away with doing this on a budget without sacrificing quality. Now typically when you go below $30 you do tend to sacrifice in quality. Not always, you know, there are some gems out there like the Cold Steel Bushman, the USGA Tonto, and other knives that are excellent in that $20 to $30 range, but in that 30 to 40 is when you really start to shine. So without further ado, we will start with the pick of the week, the Ontario SP1. Got this for $28. Amazon typically has these for 30 to 35 bucks on their website, usually free shipping. Found this on sale for 28. So yeah, it's a little below the price range, but the normal price is 30 to 35. 1095 carbon steel. Very much what you want in a survival knife is a good carbon steel, because it will strike a ferro rod better, and they have better edge keeping capabilities than a budget stainless steel. This one here has that kind of fake sawback on it, which is really meant for, because this is the what is it? It's like the pilot survival knife model, and it's really meant for cutting through airplane fuselage. It's not a saw meant to cut wood, but I know a lot of people in the survival community mention that it can be a very functional rasp to rasp down wood. So I find that kind of neat. The little bits of the spine that are there are 90 degrees, so you can strike a ferro with those. Very nice overall length, good rubber grip. These things are tough as nails, great reviews. People have been using them for a long time, and it's very rare to ever see one of these broken or damaged. That's the SP2. Alright, moving on. The newcomer to the list, the Schrade Frontier series. Schrade is making these carbon steel knives, 1095 steel now, in that $30 to $35 price range. This one here is the SCHF 36. I think it sells for like about $32. Very nice, very thick chunk of carbon steel here. Very good reviews for the price. Schrade's trying to kind of corner in on the survival and bushcraft market, and they've done a terrific job. I know they have a redesign of this coming out because there's some issues with the jimping being too rough and the jimping in here being a little rough, so I know there is a bit of a redesign on the way for this. But overall, very functional and excellent survival knife in that $30 price range. Once again, good 1095 carbon steel, simple design. It's a full tang with those, what do they do, like kind of polymer scales. I forgot exactly what they are. They're like TP something, but they're polymer scales that are attached on. Very rare to ever see a knife of this design break, and you know, with that thick of carbon steel, you got yourself quite a winner. Next is a Martini. This is the I think Lynx Lumberjack series. This is for those lovers of the Scandinavian knives. Good Scandinavian gride design, very similar to the moras. The big difference between them, I think, is that the Martinis tend to have better handles than the moras. This one here has I think it's beech, but one of the things I do like about it, it's a very comfortable handle, number one, but number two, it's peen. So this isn't just held in with glue. The moras are a synthetic handle that's just held together with glue. And not that you see a lot of broken moras on the internet, but you know, if you really like your mora but hate the handle, These martinis are nice for the money. They are this one here is a carbon steel, and it's got a flat, kind of unfinished spine to it, so you can strike a ferro rod. Good size, like 4.5 inches, 4.5 inches, and overall just a fantastic little kind of bushcraft knife. This is a little small for what I would use for survival, but you know, you can't do a video like this without throwing in this style of knife, because this is very attractive to a lot of people, to be honest. That's a favorite of many, so I do want to include it. And of course, you can always go with a mora. The moras are in that $10 to $20 range, and they are the real gem of the knife world in that price range. But these guys are absolutely, I think they're just as good. The steel is, I think, like 90% of the mora steel. Fit and finish isn't fantastic. It's got that weird kind of gloopy finish to it, but you know, it's a good carbon steel mora style knife. You know, Martini's been around forever, and the carbon steel knives they make are pretty decent. Next, we'll do quick are these Marbles safe grip knives. These are supposed to be old USA stock. They saw them on the internet. You see, I beat the snot out of this one testing it because I was a little unsure of it, to be honest. I didn't know if it would be a contender, so I beat the hell out of it to see. It held up to all that abuse. They are 1095 steel. They're kind of tough to find nowadays. They seem to be slipping off the market pretty quick. A lot of people sell them as factory seconds, but you'll know them because they do have the Marbles USA logo appeared, and compared to the Marbles Outdoors, which is what they sell with their current line. But the claim is they're old stock blades that have been handled and put onto the market. 1095 steel, good coating on them, very nice thin handle, very good grip on these things. They're very small and comfortable in the hand. For people with smaller hands, you can baton with these. You can't really chop, they're too small, but you can do a lot with this little knife, and they have really good, the steel's really good quality, really holds a decent edge for a like a $32, $33 knife. Of course, we cannot forget the Condor line. Condor has many knives in the $30 to $40 price range that could be in this category. This is the Capart knife. They also have the Bush Lore, which is an absolute favorite of many, amongst others. There's probably a good 5 or 6 Condor knives that fit the bill. They make them usually out of 1075 carbon steel, and usually with a walnut handle. Most of their designs are all full tang, very strong, not as big and as beefy as something like the Schrade, but these are kind of a little more kind of bushcraft oriented knives. They have a very, very strong following, and I found them to be hit or miss. I've had a couple fit and finish issues with a couple of my Condors over the years. This one's fantastic, by the way. The 1070 steel is a little softer, so you can expect a little more flexibility and give to it. So if you're going to use that for digging and prying, you're less likely to chip out or snap the blade, but you lose a little bit of edge retention with that 1070 steel. But nonetheless, a great option for a survival knife. This one here is just one, like I said, there's plenty. Last, this one here is the Mora 2000. Love it. This is one of my all-time favorites. You can see this has seen some better days. I've taken this on many, many backpacking trips. It's I put this one particularly in here. I think they run 30 to 35. Good rubberized handle, one of Mora's better handles as far as I'm concerned. A little bit of a hand guard there too, which Mora often lacks. This is a stainless steel. It's the only stainless steel on the bunch. When it comes to stainless steel, it's very tough to pick a budget steel because a lot of inexpensive stainlesses are really bad quality. So when you do pick a stainless, make sure you pick something like a Mora that does really good quality stainless steel. Depending on your environment, you may want to go stainless, you may want to go carbon. I prefer carbon steel, but if I know I'm going to be on a long trip, or maybe something's going to be sitting in the back of my car for long periods of time, I do tend to rock the stainless. So big kind of personal choice, but I kind of realized that all these were carbon steel, so I did have to pull one out for stainless. And Mora does have a couple other in their lineup. I think they have like a bushcraft triflex maybe, or triflex. There's a couple different ones out there that are in that $30 to $40 range. They're pretty much the same knife as this. So there you go, guys. That $30 to $40 price range, you have a lot of good options. A lot of good options, and you don't have to spend a fortune to get a good quality carbon steel knife. That's one of the big things. If you go on the forums and you say, hey, I want a good survival knife, and people are going to say, oh, geez, you need a Becker, you need an SE, you need to spend $50 to $100 to get something serviceable. And that just isn't true, and that's why I wanted to do this video. Every one of these are knives that are serviceable. Every one of them is something I would stake my life on. They are all built well, high quality, good steel, and they'll take a pretty severe beating. Not to say one of these couldn't break. Of course it could break. Any knife could break, especially under heavy use. But these here are all decent companies. These are all products that are made in a very good fashion. The only one being foreign made being the Schrade, which is made in China. But the rest are either, you know, Scandinavian, South American, or U.S. made. I think you're talking U.S., China, USA, Finland, El Salvador, and then Sweden. So there you go, guys. That's it. That's simple. It's a good market niche, and if you're looking to expand on your collection, you can buy good quality in that 30 to 50. Despite what the people on the forums say, there's a lot you can do in this price range. There's a lot of capabilities, from big, nice, you know, heavy-duty schrades down to little tiny martinis, and all in between. It's a good selection, good area, and you can really serve yourself well with any of these knives. So there you go, guys.